look like for you?
Active addiction for me was doing the same thing every day, just being trapped in my mind, thinking that like one more pill would make me feel the way that I wanted to feel. At first it was a lot of fun, going out and drinking and socializing, being this person that I always wanted to be, but I was too scared to be. I fit in, and it evolved into other things, and I found that taking stimulants like Adderall and Vyvanse and drinking on top of that, I was indestructible. I could talk and I would sound good. That went on for some years until it stopped working, and I became isolated and I burnt bridges, I made bad life decisions when I was drunk or high. I would get drunk to forget about those things, and I would make more bad decisions. So it was a vicious cycle of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different to happen. Right before I got to Willingway, I was in an outpatient program and I had put 5 days together and I was miserable, and I left at lunch and I went and bought a script Adderall from someone, and 3 days later I had taken 27 pills. I had 3 in my hand left and I was crying. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't want to die because I felt like what I was doing was killing myself. I asked God for help, and then the next day I told on myself and they sent me to Willingway. That's what the beginning of this journey looked like for me. The hardest moment in active addiction probably be the third DUI. When I was like, okay, I can't drink. I don't know, there were a lot of hard moments, like the last day I got high and I looked at those 3 pills and was like, I can't do this anymore. I was scared to death. I get goosebumps when I think about it. It's hard to describe that feeling, but it was like that hopeless uselessness, like I had no answers. My journey before Willingway was me doing it for other people. It was doing it to get my mom off my back, to get the probation officer off my back. It wasn't until that moment where I gave up that I was like, all right, you're gonna do something different. We went in, me and my mom went in together, and my mom said, tell your counselor what's going on, and I did, and she said, we're gonna find a place for you. And maybe 2 hours later, they were like, Willingway is full, but they're gonna find a room and a bed for you. And they made that happen. They were full, and they were like, all right, you need a bed, we're gonna find a bed for you. I already had this idea in my mind that they were moving mountains for me. They just, do that for people. Willingway was a 5-day detox for me with structure. They're guiding you to a new solution. There was medical staff. There was licensed counselors, an abundance of them. My counselor called me out whenever I was full of crap, and told me the truth. They told me what the reality of my situation was and how they were gonna help me. Looking back, 3.5 years later, they saved my life. I've been given a new life, a relationship with God. That's number one that I've gotten from recovery. A network of people, freedom to do and go wherever I want. I don't know, it's freedom. Once I left Willingway, I went to a long-term residential and I worked at Willingway. So I stayed in touch with a lot of those people. The Willingway community is great. It's people that care about other people getting sober or recovering. They're very involved in my life today. I'm friends with people that were at Willingway when I went through and that worked there while I was there. They're not just there for a paycheck. A lot of the people that are there invest a lot of their time. It's not just to get one more patient through the door, it's to save someone's life, because a lot of these people that are working there are in recovery. Everything that I ever did led me to Willingway. I think it was meant to happen. I had a crippling drug addiction and dependence on alcohol. I didn't know anything about anything and I thought I knew everything. So just relax, give yourself a break.